something, a lot of times he's already been in the place that he's asking us to go or to be. And that's the case here. This is a familiar story to you. It's a familiar rendition. I know. I've used it before. But it's very pertinent for this point. So we're all familiar with Saul and what he was doing and what he was up to before this point in time. He was a great enemy of the church. He wasn't going around shaking his finger at people saying, no, no, don't you do that. He's killing them. Saul was a bad man. No two ways about it. Saul was a bad man. So here he comes, on his way to Damascus, to carry out his business, to do his thing. And boy, did his life change. Did his life ever change? But the person I want you to look at here in this story is not so much Saul or Paul, but Ananias. Ananias here played a role, a significant role in the conversion of Saul. He played a very important role here in the conversion of Saul. Well before Christ told him to go and to talk to Saul, Christ had already been there. Christ had already been dealing with him. It wasn't like he was walking into a completely bare situation and he had to bear the burden of trying to talk to Saul on his own. You see, God had already kind of paved the way for him. He laid out the groundwork. He'd done the big end of the lifting, and all Ananias had to do was just to go, lay hands on him, and talk to him a little bit. That was it. Not that hard, is it? A lot of times when God asks us to go and do something, when God puts us in a situation or He puts us in a position where He's requiring something of us, I think we have a tendency to think that we got to bear it ourselves. We got to shoulder the whole load. We got to put it on our back and we got to carry it. But we don't. Most of the time, God's telling us to do something. God's telling us to go and act on His behalf. God's already laid the groundwork for us to do it. Yeah. He's already been working. He's already been maneuvering around, trying to line things up. A lot of times, we're part of the lining up. A lot of times we're the fulfilling of the lining up. But at any rate, we don't bear the burden all alone. Sometimes I think when we think about trying to talk to people about Christ and what Christ done, the sacrifice that Christ made for us, I think sometimes we get it in our mind that it's all on us. We have to carry the whole burden of trying to tell this person everything there is to tell them about Christ. Trying to build Christ up. And we're solely 100% responsible. We feel that we're responsible for building the church. We are not responsible for building the church. Christ is responsible for building the church. Amen. We're responsible for carrying the word of Christ to the people who need the church. Yeah. It is not our responsibility. It is not our sole responsibility to build the church. If Christ asks us to be His legs here on earth for a few minutes, I guarantee you He's already been working in the situation. That's the way He does things. He's not going to completely unload it. He didn't tell Ananias here completely from the get-go, Saul perfectly fine. Hey, go talk to this man. I figure Ananias would probably have been taking his life in his own hands if he'd have done such. But the point here being, Ananias was just coming after Christ. He was following after Christ in the life of Saul. Most of the time, when Christ asks us to talk to somebody, when He sends us to somebody, we're following after Him. We're going where He's already, the Spirit has already been working. A lot of times, it's amazing. Some people, they won't talk to you. They don't want nothing to do with you anyway, which is fine. That's their choice. But sometimes it's amusing how many people are willing to talk. How many people have questions? How many people want to know things? What kind of ear they'll give you? Because the Spirit's already been dealing with them. It's already dealt with them enough to give you a basis of a conversation with this person. It's dealt with them enough so that they'll lend you an ear, so that they're willing to listen and not just completely turn you off and say, no, thank you, bye. Shut the door in your face. It's amazing how many opportunities you have if you'll look for them. How many people are willing to listen. How many people are open to it. They just don't know where to turn. They've never known where to ask the question to. Yeah. And here by you talking to them about it, that clicks something in their mind and says, this is somebody that I can ask this to. This is somebody that can answer questions for me. This is somebody that can tell me a little bit about this. If you've been saved, you've got something you can tell somebody about. Yeah. You don't have to be a theological scholar to witness to somebody. Right. You don't have to be a theological scholar to lead somebody to Christ. You don't have to know the order of every book in the Bible. You don't have to know the lineage of the kings of the kingdoms of Israel. You don't have to be able to sit there and at the drop of a hat name off the 12 apostles. You've got a story to tell. If you've been saved, I pretty well assume, and should be rightly, because I don't think you can be saved unless you know this. Amen. I assume you know the story of Christ and what Christ did for you. Yeah. You know what salvation is. Hopefully you've experienced it. That's all you need to know to lead somebody to Christ. Yeah. Yeah, people, they ask hard questions. Usually a lot of times some hard questions that get asked that you don't have to know yourself, but you've been asking for years. What's my purpose in being here? Well, most of the time the response to that's not going to make people happy because they're going to be looking for, after tomorrow you got an appointment. You need to keep that appointment. Or, they're expecting you to be their Ouija board or something, their crystal ball. Ain't got no crystal ball. So my purpose in life is to serve God. That's what you're here for. Yes, amen. Yeah. Why did to use an example, why did my son, grandson, whatever die at such a young age in a car wreck? Because God said He wanted one of His children home. Yeah, that's right. I don't know why. He just did. But I'll tell you this much. Young will never have to experience the heartaches of life. When God asks us to go somewhere, He's already been there. He's not going to send us in where He's not already been. He's not going to throw us into the lines to get chewed up and spit out. He paves a way forward for us. Because after all, it is Christ's job to build up His church. And He's good at it. He's good at it. He just needs us to come along and be His mouthpiece sometimes. To put things in context for people. To try to explain to them what's going on. To try to explain to them the feelings that they've got. Try to tell them how come they feel like no matter which way they turn, up, down, east, west, or south, they can't find peace, they can't find happiness, and they can't find comfort. Because like I was talking about last week, it's that puzzle, when you lose that one piece of it, the person is missing that one piece. But the good news is you know exactly where that one missing piece is at for that person. Saul done knew. I firmly believe Saul done knew. But Ananias went. Ananias went to make it plain to Saul. Saul, this is what's going on. This is why it's going on. And this is what you're going to do. Yeah. We're supposed to be Ananias a lot of times.